Hello, good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of Business Life. Coming up, Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers Association directs its members to cease loading from two industry giants, Blue Ocean and Sage Petroleum, from Monday over moves to become direct suppliers of the product to consumers. We shall be discussing the implication of this on the supply of the product on the market. Also in this bulletin, the Association of Ghana Industries warns Bank of Ghana to reduce 3-year sanction against businesses found to be issuing dark checks.
Opportunity, I would have pleaded for some leniency in terms of the time, the period of the sanction. That could have come down a little bit.
World Bank approves $30 million for Ghana to support water and sanitation initiatives in some regional capitals. We have details of this and more lined up for you. Please stay. I truly appreciate your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. I look now at our stories. The LPG Marketers Association has directed its members to cease doing business with two industry giants, Blue Ocean and Sage Petroleum, from Monday, August 12. The directive, it says, will not cause a shortage of LPG. George Yafe has more on why the LPG marketers are taking this action.
Joy Business understands has been influenced by these two companies now working to get into the business of direct LPG marketing to consumers under the yet-to-be-rolled-out cylinder recirculation program, which these marketers think that is not fair to them. Meanwhile, the LPG marketers have however assured that development will not affect supply of products on the market. This is because they will rely on other bulk oil distributors for their product. The LPG marketers, in the letter seen by Joy Business, has also directed the Gas Tanker Association not to load from Sage Petroleum at the Quantum Terminal and Blue Ocean in Tema for Monday, August 12, 2024. The association has asked its members also not to honor any invitation to load from these depots in Tema. It is not clear for now whether this is part of a series of measures that they are adopting to register their protest over how the cylinder recirculation program is being implemented by the National Petroleum Authority.
Let's have a conversation on this development. Joining us via Zoom to do that is an energy strategist, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana. Thanks so much, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, for joining us on Business Life, and good to see you. Now, should we be worried about this action taken by LPG Marketers Association?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pius, and good evening to you and your cherished viewers in Ghana and across the globe. Thank you for having me. Sure, indeed. If we are not worried, it means that we are just underestimating their importance. If you understand the downstream and how it works, there are some players that you may not see conspicuously how impactful they are until they decide to disrupt their services. And one of them, one of these players who are not very, you don't see them as the mainstream. They are not the OMCs and stuff like that. But these tanker drivers or, gas drivers, they're equally very important, because there's one thing having the product at the depot, but your inability to be able to, convey the products, to the utility points is equally crucial, and that can impact. Having the product at the depot is not the end of the story, but the ability to get it to where it is needed is what is also crucial. So yes, there is every cause to be worried, and I hope that this issue will be resolved amicably. Other than that, yes, potentially they could disrupt the distribution of LPG, though they have assured that this is not going to impact the distribution, which is good, because we don't want any disruption within the downstream at this moment in time, Pius.
But looking at the backstory of all of these, do you think that, well, this can be described as a ticking time bomb?
Oh, yes, we need to resolve it, undoubtedly. That's very, very important, because issues start like this. And the downstream, I must say, we cannot underestimate it in terms of its contribution to our national development. We are talking about, closer to 7%, 7 to 8% of our GDP. Of course, it's not only the LPG, but LPG is equally crucial, to consistency in our energy requirement, consistency in our cooking fuel and stuff like that. Yeah, so yes, if you don't tackle it well, it could disrupt certain workings of the downstream, any chain of it, be it the LPG or the liquid products, that will impact. So what I would urge is that I think we will need, you see that all this is as a result of CRM. And my understanding is that there were a lot of engagement that were done. So I see this as kind of a surprise. It means that there are still some kind of loopholes that need to be filled. Yes, when new projects are coming, it's not everybody who like it, but the honest lie on the regulator, which I know here the regulator has done some pretty job on this, but I think there's still more room, a little bit more room for improvement. I urge the regulator to still engage them to see where the differences are, and they can patch it up as soon as possible before it blown out into proportions that we may not like, Pius.
And even before we get into that engagement bit, the LPG marketers are assuring that the planned action will not result in a shortage of products. Do you believe that? And bearing in mind that these companies you're talking about are industry giants.
Yeah, so probably they understand that there are other alternatives. This is like a yellow, a kind of a warning that they are sending, a signal that they are sending. Something can happen from now to Monday. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I believe something will happen, Pius, because these players are very key. Quantum and then Blue Ocean, they are not main players in the LTV sphere. These are huge players. And so if their inability to also do business, remember they haven't fully rolled into the CRM. I am sure because they are preparing to roll into the CRM, the marketers are thinking that once they get into CRM, it means that their business is finished. So that's why I'm thinking that a bit of engagement will be able to solve it. Some engagement have been done, and I know for sure some engagement have been done. But I think there's more room for engagement. More room for improvement with respect to the engagement, yeah.
Let's talk more about the cylinder recirculation program as we speak. Now, it appears all players have taken an entrenched position. That is the National Petroleum Authority and, of course, the LPG marketers. Can we say that this is really bad for the industry, looking at the developments so far?
Yeah, so taking entrenched position is not good for anybody. It's not good for the business community. It's not good for the consumer. It's not good for the regulator. Neither is it good for the businesses themselves. Because all those ones, this kind of stakeholders come together, to be able to make the business flow. So there have to be some trade-off somewhere where some concessions have to be made, either by the regulator or by the marketers. See, I believe this year the whole idea of this CRM didn't come. They didn't conceive it in a vacuum of a sort. Though I have a little bit of problem with some implementation. However, we have to see how we can make it work of a sort. And making it work means that all the players that are involved. See, if any business is coming, the already guys who are there, they are going to be threatened. So it is incumbent upon us to be able to assure them and create credible. When I say credible, it means that pathways that they believe that their business are not going to be impacted, because they'll fight it, and that's one of the ways they can fight it. But I believe having entrenched positions is the right way to go, because if we do that, at the end of the day, nobody is going to be a winner if we have entrenched positions. So I will urge that the leadership of the marketers and the regulator and the business community, they have to sit together and still see where the rough edges are and iron it out. Other than that, I think the status quo, especially when actually there are players sit on course and listen to the leadership and still refuse to lift from quantum and this other blue ocean, I think it's going to have a bit of disruption within the supply chain of LPG, and that's not going to be good. Yeah.
And you are calling for broader consultation, but do you think that the government, through the Energy Ministry, should step in now by calling these players to order or something?
Oh yes, they have to, and they have to in a way that of course, MPA has to champion that. If probably MPA is not able to do that, then the government and probably the Minister of Energy, they have to come in because it's very important. But these are the way issues prop up. They start like this, and you don't leave them the bad, and they're blown out of proportion. And remember, things within the industry, we have to be very cautious. Like I mentioned to you, the downstream is very key to, to our energy security, to our to the supply of petroleum product, and then to our GDP. But what I was saying is that I know this current leadership of NPA, they have precedence, which is good. And one of the great trump cards is the ability to engage. So I believe they should be able to resolve this. I'm saying that because I've seen that they've done a lot of engagement, but still there are still some rough edges. They shouldn't give up. They should involve this player and sit down with them and engage with them. It's very, very important, to engage with them and resolve this amicably. Other than that, if entrenched positions are taken, I believe it's not going to be good for anybody. Fine.
And how soon should government do that decision? But as you think about that, for you, what do you foresee happening in the near future?
So what I foresee happening, if I am to go by what incidences. When I say incidences, I mean some of these pockets of disturbances that have popped up, and I think the regulator has been able to solve it. I want to trust that they'll be able to solve this one also. That's my belief, because I'm engaged with this current leadership. I think they are listening. Let me put it that way, as compared to most leadership we have in the previous era. So I just want to urge that they should bring that to bear. I mean, that is their duty. They can't give up and say that some players are recalcitrant, some players are not listening. No, it's part of their job to still engage to a point that, I mean, we will not have issues that is proper enough. And I believe they can do that. How soon that can be done, I believe they have to do that within the weekend. This thing has to be resolved within the weekend at the shortest possible time so that it doesn't spiral into the coming week. That will disrupt flow of LPG.
I truly appreciate your thoughts. Dr. Yusuf Suleiman, an energy strategist, speaking to us, and of course the CEO of Eureka Energy speaking to us on the development there. Thanks you so much, sir. Away from that, the Association of Ghana Industries is appealing to the Bank of Ghana to reduce the sanction given out to businesses found to have issued DAD checks. More than 200 businesses and 47 businesses from June this year have been barred from accessing fresh credit from the banking system. This is part of sanctions for persistent issuance of DAD checks. Chief Executive of the association, Seth Chumakwawa, tells Joy Business, although they fully back the Bank of Ghana, they are worried about the impact on firms affected.
Because the Bank of Ghana says it's happened about 3 occasions, and it means that they've been cautioned. And the punitive measures have always been there. The law is clear that you should not issue dark checks. And if you go to most of the banks, they even display it. So it means that businesses should be aware of not engaging in something like this. So on that score, it's very difficult to also support this. And therefore, I think that the measure taken by Bank of Ghana, especially in the wake of concerns about cedi depreciation, the challenges we have in the foreign exchange situation, and the confidence that has to go with it. Everything is speculative. If you have confidence in the system, you know that when you issue a check, for example, to be cleared, you will not even bother to arrange for foreign exchange to hide and all that, because business transaction must go on. So I think that much as I sympathize with the companies, I think that they should also learn to do the right thing. And if you have genuine difficulty, when you issue a check, you have genuine difficulty in terms of some expected inflows that wasn't coming forth, you can quickly inform the person, or your customer, or the person you have issued a check to, your supplier, and say, please hold on to it. I will sort you out. Then I think this can be, and that's what most businesses do. But if you consistently do this, then it's as if you are deliberately doing so, or you are ignoring the basic tenets of banking transaction. So in that case, I think that what Bank of Ghana is doing is sending a signal to the system that be careful the way you handle your transactions. If you're unsure, don't issue checks. Negotiate with your supplier or whoever you owe, and I'm sure there will be a solution to it. So it's really a step in the right direction to send signal to the system. But I may sympathize with the people because I don't know their circumstances.
3 years, they can't get access to credit within the banking system.
I think that is actually on the punitive measures actually on the higher side, especially since all these years, Bank of Ghana has not enforced such a measure. And it's been, I think it's been happening. So suddenly you come in and, it's quite strong. So that's where, if I had the opportunity, I would have pleaded for some leniency in terms of the time, the period of the sanction, that could have come down a little bit.
This is still Business Live. We are back with more stories. Please stay. Welcome back to Business Live. Senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, has stated that until the fundamental issues of import are dealt with, the woes of the exchange rate will deepen regardless of the introduction of new policies. He is of the view that there must be a deliberate effort to reduce inflation to control price levels. His comment follows assertions by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that the value of the cedi to gold is an effort to stabilize the local currency and address ongoing foreign exchange challenges. But reacting to the claim, Dr. Amoah maintained the core issues would have to be fixed.
Because, again, if the fundamentals are not so good, it becomes very difficult to pick one policy and then try to plug in that one policy and hope that just by virtue of that particular single policy, all the other fundamental indicators will work. Like you rightly said, import is a major problem. And that import has been triggered because of inflation. Inflation has been one of our biggest problems as a country. Because inflation is increasing or has been increasing, price levels in Ghana is simply high. So what are we looking for? We're looking for perfect substitute that will come in cheap. And the perfect substitute that will come in cheap means that we have to pay hard currency for the perfect substitute. Definitely, if you don't get your inflation under control, you will always have to go for the hard currency, the dollar. And so until, like we rightly said, we deal with the fundamental issues of import, some of these policies may come, but they will not give us the needed, result, so we can have good control over the value of our.
On to one of our headline stories, the World Bank Board has approved $30 million from the International Development Association for the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Sanitation and Water Project. There is more in this report. This funding marks the second additional financing that is expected to cover a financial shortfall resulting from increased costs due to inflation and allow the government of Ghana to complete planned water and sanitation works. Part of the funds will also help in completing the rehabilitation and expansion of the existing Asafo sewage network and provide access for 5,000 households in low-income communities to improve their sanitation. The project supports the government's efforts to increase access to basic sanitation services and reduce open defecation in Ghana. The project's activities are being implemented with the participation of local governments and project beneficiaries, drawing on local capacity for implementation wherever possible. Leading digital payments and services company Network International has expressed its commitment to champion innovations in the Ghanaian digital payment system. With a clientele base of over 250, the company serves financial institutions with cutting-edge technology, which enables seamless digital payments. Now, speaking at a soiree to introduce an enhanced digital payment system, Network One, which will offer faster and secure transactions, Country Director for Ghana, Perry Adokwe, noted that Network International will continue to invest in secured and robust systems to boost digital payments. More in this report.
In a quest to offer bespoke digital payment solutions to financial institutions, fintechs, and telecommunication companies, leading digital payment and services company, Network International, aims to drive digital inclusion with its cutting-edge collection of payment products and services. Network International operates a unified and integrated payment processing platform which enables financial institutions to offer businesses and individuals with seamless payment systems. Perry Adokwe is the Regional Director for Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Gambia. He spoke to Joy Business at a soiree to introduce an enhanced payment system, Network One, which will offer financial institutions in Ghana with the state-of-art technology.
It is a new payment system that we are launching. We actually have customers already in it operating from Dubai, but like you heard, we are now local. So we have an equivalent of that system in Ghana. But what we have now is a system that we have in Cairo. So the state-of-the-art new better systems in Dubai, and that is what we're trying to bring to Ghana. So very soon, the banks will have a chance to actually use that new system in Ghana as well. So the whole event is just to showcase the products that we have both in Ghana and also to showcase what we have in other 50 countries. We have over 270 banks having several use cases. So it's to try to more or less like bring all the use cases in a crude way into one.
Its high-level security standards and processes have made them one of the trusted partners, serving over 250 financial institutions and over 130,000 merchants across Middle East and Africa.
It makes transactions quite quicker, easier. In terms of speed, you get that. In terms of security, you would have that as well. Like the Falcon system that you had, that we discussed, is a fraud-based system that you have about 7 or 8 in the world, which we can easily plant one in Ghana, not to service just banks or our customers. But any other bank that is not even an NI customer can actually leverage on that fraud system as well. So that makes us very unique.
Chinwe Uzoho, Managing Director for West Africa and Central Africa, explained that Network International will continue to champion innovations in the digital payment sector.
For us, Network International, we're a B2B company. We serve businesses. You know, the businesses that we serve are the ones that serve the retailers, the consumers, the merchants, and all that. So, talking about being ready, you know, today we're in Middle East and Africa. We've been in this business for 30 years. That will show you how we have evolved. Today we are talking about having the best-in-class digital platform that connects our clients, that helps our clients to also connect with their clients. If you're issuing card, if you're processing, card management.
Now, some fish farmers have called on government for support after surviving or suffering major losses during the Akosombo Dam spillage by the Volta River Authority. Data from the Fisheries Commission suggests that total fish production dropped from a little over 132,000 in 2022 to less than 100,000 in 2023. Chief Executive of the Chamber of Aquaculture Ghana, Jacob Ajika, says technical and credit support will be needed to assist affected fish farmers. He spoke at a breakfast forum organized by the Israeli Economic and Trade Mission to Ghana to support the growth of aquaculture in Ghana. There's more in this report.
According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the aquaculture sector contributes up to 5% of the country's GDP. A 50% deficit of supply for the country's annual demand for fish means that more can be done to develop the value chain. Data from the Fisheries Commission suggests that total fish production dropped from a little over 132,000 in 2022 to less than 100,000 in 2023. At an Israeli trade forum to discuss the sector, Jacob Azeka, Chief Executive of the Aquaculture Chamber of Ghana, blamed the Akosombo Dam spillage by the Volta River Authority. He says the spillage badly affected fish farmers along the Volta Lake.
As of 2022, we had over 132,652 metric tons as the production coming from the aquaculture sector. But with the Akosombo Dam spillage, one should automatically expect the production figure to drop. When that disaster occurred, fish farmers had huge quantity of live fish stock in production. Their cages were washed away. Those fish farmers witnessed high mortality when the spillage was ongoing. So as a result of that, according to figures that we have cited, the estimated production output from the aquaculture sector for 2023 is in the ranges around 102,000 metric tons. That is the figures that we have seen, although this is yet to be published.
And that's it for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Next is Beyond the Numbers with my colleagues Isaac Kofi Ajay and Winston Taki. Guys, it's been 530 what?
35
wow,
days after DDP.
Yeah. And we are focusing on that.
And today we have, Winston, a big apology. What do we have?
An apology letter that has been written. You know, those times when we're in school, when you do something bad, they say, go and write
an apology letter. Yeah.
Based on your admittance of whether you've done something wrong. This time around, the finance minister is apologizing for the impact of the DDEP.
That should suffice, isn't it?
Well, we'll be back after this short break. I mean, when we are back, we'll discuss and see whether the apology has been accepted or not.
Yeah, so stay tuned.